Hey everyone, welcome to my masterclass on becoming a hairdresser or hairstylist. This is going to be more in depth about working in a job environment. So you've been hired as an assistant, and I mentioned it in my previous episode 1. And if you're just coming across this video randomly, I do have a first episode that really is essential to watch. So just find that video, just browse my channel. It was yesterday, so you can actually watch it and then watch this one. So you have a job, okay? You have a job and your title is most likely assistant or apprentice or intern, whatever it is, but assistant is probably what it is. As I mentioned in my previous video, and hopefully you made this right decision, you're working in a place that has an actual apprenticeship program. If you aren't, then I would suggest down the road, get some experience and look for a place that has an apprenticeship program. That is a program where they actually train you to get you ready to be on the floor, aka a full-time stylist working behind a chair. You'll occasionally wash hair from time to time for your own clients, or you're in a pinch or something like that. But a lot of the times, you're going to be doing a lot of grunt work until you're ready. And also, while you're getting your license. Once you get your cosmetology license, you're then pretty much ready to go. You can work on the floor, but that's just legally. You need to be ready to go as far as your skills. That's also why in the last video I mentioned train as much as you possibly can. Buy some mannequins, buy some, whatever it is, watch my YouTube videos. Train as much as you can to get good at your skills. Don't wait for salon owners to promise you things because they're just full of crap. And, we send our people to haircutting classes, once every 6 months or something. Don't just focus on, take that education, but do you as much as you possibly can to grow your skills as fast as you can. So you're in an apprenticeship program. What that's gonna entail of is most of the time it's washing hair, doing laundry, sweeping hair off the floor, washing color bowls, greeting clients, and basically cleaning. Sweeping at the end of the night, taking the garbage out, making sure everything is clean. You're basically a mix of a cleaning person and just a grunt, right? Now, in the process though, when there is some downtime, you will be having the opportunity to learn and watch and observe and communicate. And there's some situations and some salons where you're just sitting around or you're standing around waiting for them to happen. There's other places where I've seen, and I've myself, and I'm going to give you a really good bit of advice, is where you're nonstop. You're washing hair, one after another. It's just your back's killing you. It's sweeping. You're out of control. There's 9, 10 stylists. There's only one of you. Everybody wants you to. There's a backup of 6 people waiting to get their color washed off. It could be an absolute disaster. So make sure also when you are working in an environment, and if you haven't got a job yet, this will still be very helpful even after watching the first episode. Make sure you have chosen a salon to work in that is staffed properly. Meaning, if you have a salon that has 10 stylists, 12 stylists, and there's only one assistant, that means that if you get hired, there'll be 2. And you will be responsible for everything if that person doesn't show up. That means all the stylists have to start washing their clients. Then they have to start, they're going to get all frustrated and aggravated. They're going to get behind schedule. You are the biggest support system of the operation of the clients, right? You have to keep the stylists on time. You have to keep everything flowing. It's a very, very important job. Make sure that wherever you're working, you have the proper staff system in place, a team of people where you can work together, right? So you're not left stranded. So really, really, really important. Behind this door, I almost don't even want to show you this. This is going to be a room where you are going to end up spending a lot of time. And in some situations, you're going to have to. In other situations, you should not even be anywhere near this room. And I'm going to get a little sneak peek of this room back here. Guess what that's called? The dreaded back room. Now, I have worked in so many salons and worked with so many assistants over the years. There's a lot of times where you will end up being sucked in to hanging out in that back room or in the kitchen with people who have no motivation. They're complacent, they're stagnant, they just sit around waiting for something to happen. They're on their phones, they don't care. Meanwhile, there's a whole operation going on that they can be observing and they can be helping. But no, they want to be in the back room, gossiping, going on their phones, arguing with the boyfriend, whatever it is. The back room is probably one of the most toxic places that you can be in if you are working as an assistant, or the kitchen. I am telling you right now, if you want to stay motivated, do not hang around in the back room. And also, if you are working in a place that's the right salon to work in, chances are the owner will not even let this happen. There'll be a salon manager, everybody out. What are you doing? Get out of this back room. There's a whole business, a whole world out here. You could be sweeping the floors. You could be helping. You could be, talking to clients. You could be learning. The back room is toxic. This room right here, where all the color is, all the, yes, you're going to have to go back there and do laundry. You're going to have to go back there and wash color bowls and all that crap. But when you're not doing that, don't hang around back there, okay? Don't hang around back there. I understand if it's like an escape place for you or a safe place if you need to go back and regroup and all that, but get out of there as fast as you possibly can. So here is where a client could come in, and this is where you, as a professional, you're professional. You've entered into a business or an industry or profession where you're a professional. So you need to be observant of who's coming in that door, what time it is, who that person is, who their stylist is, and what's happening. Always be looking at the schedule. Always be looking at the book. And chances are, hopefully, a salon will have a schedule at the front desk where the receptionist is. And I'm hoping they're all on computers at this point using salon software. And they should have a secondary or even third computer where you have access to seeing what's going on. You need to make sure you can see who's coming in, what jobs are coming in, who's doing them, because that will help the flow of everything to keep you organized and the salon organized. Now, I'm going to start to get into some really core tips that come more from being your personality and from within that are really going to catapult you and help you in your career, whether you're an assistant or even as a stylist. So a lot of the times, right, if there's, I would say, dead time, there's not a lot going on, or there is, but everything's under control, and maybe there's, one or two assistants or coworkers that have everything, and you're kind of you're free to roam, scout the floor, see what's happening, there's no hair on the floor, all that kind of stuff, which we'll get into shortly. But now you're like, okay, what can I do? And you're going to lock in on the schedule of what's happening and who's coming in. The best thing you can do is always be present. Always have your face being seen. Always make sure you're visible to stylists, because if they need a helping hand or something happens, a color bowl falls down, or someone needs coffee, or always be that person who is going to give extraordinary service. You see somebody walk in, right? They come in like this, they walk in, how you doing? The first thing you want to do is be greeted. Hi, how you doing? Hey, Steven, nice to see you. Or introduce them. Hey, I'm Steven. I'm one of the assistants here. Can I get your coat for you? Welcome. Let's get you checked in. Can I get you some water while you're waiting? Coffee, anything like that. Just give them a memorable professional experience. Make sure, and you're going to know who's coming in because you're looking at the schedule. You're seeing everything right there. So when that person comes in, hey, that's, Melissa who's getting a touch-up, right? Hey, Melissa, right? Yeah, hey, doing Melissa? Or you probably know them already, but if you're new, introduce yourself. I'm going to help you get set up. I'm an assistant here. I'll be working with you today and helping your stylist with, getting you ready and keeping you up, and, let's get you checked in. And make yourself part of the experience. Now, a little side note, this little tip here is the nicer you are, and this, I hate to say, unfortunately, this does depend on the individual, but in my experience, The nicer you are, the more tips you may get. So the more involved in the job that client is there to get, a lot of times they're going to tip you. Sometimes I've been tipped more than the stylist because of the way I shampooed their hair and how professional I was, how funny I was, how interactive I was. They're giving me like $5 for a shampoo, $10 tip for a shampoo, sometimes even a 20, and the stylist is getting $10 because I made the experience so much better for them and I was so involved. You have to kind of be like a bit of a salesperson. So the art of communication, if you're not a talkative person, practice being very interactive, whether it's recording yourself on the phone, introducing yourself, just being very pleasant. Just think about what you want to experience when you go into a restaurant or a store. How many times have you walked up to a cashier and you say to them, "How you doing?" And their response is, nothing. That happens, unfortunately, way too often, and I even say to myself, how do these people even have a job? Like, how is this person even earning money representing this company when they can't even open their mouth and talk to somebody properly? It's mind-boggling. Practice and master the art of communication. Trust me, that's going to go further than a college degree, in my opinion. Okay? The art of communication is the most important thing, how you present yourself. And there's a lot of times, I'll be very honest with you, where you are going to be more professional, better spoken, and just overall better than the stylist, than maybe the manager. But you have to go through these phases because your time will come where you'll shine. All right? So, hi, so-and-so. I'm Steven. I'm going to be part of your service today. I'm an assistant here. And this is mainly if somebody's new, but even if they're not new and they know you, "Hey, how you doing? Great to see you today. Yeah, you're with your stylist so-and-so. You're getting color today, right? Yeah, awesome. Let me get your coat. We're going to have you get checked in. I'll get you a robe, or have a robe to get them to change in the changing room." Like, you can really, really have an amazing workflow if you are on top of things. So be on top of things. You see this right here? What is this? This is called a crime scene. Okay? This is what I like to call a hair crime scene. What is this? This is a broom. This is probably going to be one of your most essential tools that you're going to need while you are an assistant. If you're an assistant working someplace and for more than 3 minutes there's hair on the floor, you're in trouble. Always have access to a broom. Always have access to making sure you get this hair off the floor, swept up and out of the way. For safety reasons, for the client, safety reasons for the stylist, for yourself, so people aren't slipping on the hair. And you could always have, a broom and something to sweep it in and just get rid of it. Even if you just bring this and sweep it away and push it in a corner, get rid of the hair. Never, ever, ever you want to see hair on the floor at all. And now I understand if it's busy or something like that, that's where hopefully a stylist will come in and they'll help take the reins and clean up, or the owner will come in and sweep. It's always funny when you see the owner sweep, but that's good because they're trying to keep their salon organized. But never, ever, ever be in the back room and you see this crime scene right here sitting in the middle of the salon floor. Get rid of this hair as fast as possible. Another thing I'm going to suggest is always ask the client if they want coffee, if they want water, keep them hydrated, like a magazine. You really want to pamper them. They're there for an experience. You want to pamper them and you want to give extraordinary service. So that's something that's going to help you excel throughout your career as an assistant. It's going to help you with communication. It's going to see how people react to what you're doing. So it's it. And not everybody's going to be nice. Not everybody's going to be as pleasant as you, but it's better that you rise to the occasion and be that professional rather than, be sucked into their level of being miserable, not being happy, being awful at communicating, being a mope. There's too many mopes. There's too many unprofessional people who can't, the grammar's awful. Like, just be that next level because, again, your time will come where all this will pay off. I had mentioned training before, right? Here's a mannequin and it's on a tripod. You may need to make some sort of investment in your own educational resource, meaning buy a couple of mannequins. You can go on Amazon. You can buy a tripod. You know, I go to like Hair Art Products or Pivot Point. Those have good, things, but sometimes if you're looking for cheaper options, you can go on Amazon, okay? But I would suggest buying mannequins, male mannequins, female mannequins, and just practice whatever haircuts you want to specialize in. I have a lot of haircuts, right, that are my layered haircuts. I even have a course, a full in-depth course on step-by-step haircuts. My men's layered haircut, my women's layered haircut that I'd be charging $300 for. It's only like $60. If you go to TheSalonGuy.com and you just scroll down a little bit, you'll see a link to my online courses. For $60, you can literally learn how to cut hair like I have and layer hair the right way and charge a premium price and be better than the people in your salon that are already been stylists for 10, 15 years. Trust me. So make sure you invest in your education and yourself, because like I mentioned in my first video, if you want to be successful, if you want to make good money, you want to have a large clientele, you need to learn and educate yourself and be as well-rounded as you want to be. You don't have to do perms, you don't have to do color, you don't have to do extensions or whatever it is that you want to do or don't want to do. It's really up to you. If you want to specialize in hair cutting and that's it, no color, then fine. If you want to specialize in just color and no hair cutting, or you want to be like the updo king or queen of Staten Island, then you can do that. But focus in on what you're comfortable doing, how much of that you want to learn, and specialize in all of that. Because the most successful stylists that I've seen, they do all of it, they're really good at doing all of it, and they're the ones making the big money, okay? They're the ones making the big money because they can do a lot of stuff that other stylists can't. So educate yourself and be picky. Whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you're going to be happy about doing. But learn as much as you possibly can. In the last part of this video, I want to talk to you about opportunities that you can have. Now, most times when you're working in a salon, you're going through an apprenticeship program, it could take maybe 6 months, sometimes a year. As long as they have this in place, talk to other stylists who have gone through this program and see where they're at. And they can kind of vouch for the entire process and the entire experience to make sure that you are headed in the right direction. Now, if you work with, 2 or 3 other girls who have been in this country for 3 years and have 9 kids and they're a complete hot mess, then chances are you know where you're headed, which is nowhere. But if you are working in a salon or an environment where they have a program that's successful and you actually see stylists working on the floor that are doing really well, that's a really good chance that you're going to follow in those footsteps. That's a good sign to see that. Because once again, if you work with people who have been there, I've been there for 5-6 years and they're 79 years old and been folding hair for 14, or folding towels and sweeping hair for 14 years, just don't even waste your time anymore. The proper program will be, like I said, 6 months to a year. Hopefully you'll be licensed by then, and you can then start their training program. And like I said, the quicker you learn and educate yourself, the better that's going to be, because you will be so much more advanced and you'll go through that process of the apprenticeship program, the testing they do, whether it's testing you on haircuts or hair coloring, whatever it is, you will be so much more advanced that you'll have a leg up over other people who aren't doing anything. They're not practicing, they're not trying to advance themselves on their own time. So it's a long process, right? But it's worth the investment. It's worth the experience. And one thing I will tell you is, don't expect to graduate cosmetology school and have an ego. You have to pay your dues, okay? You have to pay your dues. Don't expect to be graduating, charging $500 for a haircut. Like, you have to prove yourself. You have to go through the trenches. You have to really go through the process, because, again, you don't know what not to do. You don't know what it's like to experience something really that's not organized or a hot mess. You have to go through all those experiences to really see what it's like, and you can learn from that and then apply it to your craft and your profession. So I would say, as you're progressing through this apprenticeship program and through your career early on, you're going to be learning a lot. You always want to be present. You want to be one step ahead of everyone else. Never have someone having to go look for you and search for you in the back room. The back room is very toxic. The kitchen is toxic. Stay away from toxic people, because hairstylists can be very toxic. I'm telling you right now. Between the gossiping and, the rumors and the immaturity, it's a complete disaster. That's why I don't miss any of it, to be honest with you. And then in the next video, I'll be sharing with you some really cool opportunities that you do have as a professional once maybe you get your license, and what you also could do, whether you've been working in the salon for a couple years or you're ready to make a move, being a salon owner, all that stuff. We'll get more into the business of it. So thank you for watching part 2 of this masterclass series of becoming a hairstylist. Let me know what you think and you're enjoying this. I hope it's helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.